Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're across this great wide world of ours. The last two videos I've done concerning pets and how pets, for number one, could add spice to your life. And the other issue that I added is having the right pet. And, whether you're a dog lover or a cat lover or a reptile lover or whatever you are concerning whatever issue you have, the issue I was talking about is just the self attitude or the self explanation of where you want to be as a person. And that's where I'm going with this today, because really what I'm talking about is how we should be more attuned to what we need to work on as an individual and how we should grow. And the issue I always say with people is that it's cornered the book, The Art of War. And I often tell this to my kids, and I also tell it to a lot of friends. I even actually reached out to people last week, a lot of people this week on it. And I said, read the book, The Art of War. And the point about the book is necessarily you're not going to win every battle, but the goal or the emphasis is to win the war. And in the case of boys, we talk about this, and I've talked about this previously. Well, George Washington in the Revolutionary War, he lost a lot of battles, but the ultimate goal was to win the war or win the independence of the original 13 colonies. And that for that reason, even though he lost some battles and skirmishes, and you can look at the musical Alexander Hamilton, it's just the fact that the issue becomes not necessarily the objective of losing the battle, but actually winning or losing the battle. But the ultimate goal was where at Yorktown they ended up getting the surrender and winning the revolution, and that was the key aspect of it, of winning, and get French to be an ally in it, and getting Spain to help as well. So the issue becomes you send people over, diplomats, such as John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and the like. I believe John Jay as well. And the point here is that the goal in life is to say, for instance, I'd like to get a pet, but right now I don't feel that I could give it the care and the treatment that it deserves. Well, then that's a validation, or it's a good, that shows what I call good leadership. It shows good critical thinking, because what you're saying is that I don't have the time to do this, and necessarily that can be the case, and that becomes a case with single moms and dads. They've got kids in the priority, because if you want to date, but on the other hand your kids are a priority, the priority becomes becomes the kids, and the other issues will work themselves out over time. And that's the point that I always say as well, is if you got to be patient and persistent. So it's the same case with where I'm trying to grow these YouTube channels, and also some other things that I'm working on, as well as my books and writings that, granted I would like to get a New York bestseller, but that doesn't mean that, after 4 or 5 times or 6 times or 7 times, 100 times, I just keep writing, because sooner or later something will hit and resonate with people, and then that will become a seller. And the point is, you don't have to stick tons and tons of money into this, but the issue becomes that you become cognitive of where you want to be in life and make those changes. And I think what happens a lot of times especially I was talking to somebody on Friday that they were dating just to be dating, and that happens. And then what happens in that case is sometimes you need to take a break from dating. I was trying to explain this to one of my kids that sometimes you just need a break, but the case became involved that they became involved with an individual, and now they're going down what I call that rabbit hole, which in essence they really needed to take a break, but we live by the choices we make, and I'm not ridiculing anybody about when they make a decision, because it's all decisions anymore. And when I was reflecting on this, I was reading something from I think one of the Stoics philosophers, and when I was reading about it, it's really something that's all subjective. In other words, what I've decided to do is, I guess it's more mellow, and I think about this in prior places that I worked, even prior to my um, introduction to things with working some temporary services. Sometimes I would go in and like be a leader, but not necessarily say, well, this person. And the point with that is that I need to keep my own house in order and not necessarily worry about what other people do. Because really, in essence, what that does is it all falls back on them and not necessarily falls back on the individual itself. So the course of the matter is, when you decide to do something, the issue becomes that you need to be able to forcibly make, not necessarily forcibly, but have the knowledge to know that you can make the changes that you need to make and then move forward. And then if you make those changes don't work out, then you come up with another plan. That's why with me, I've got 2 YouTube pages. I got my books that are going on, and then I got my psychology, um, team leadership, team building things going on. So I've got 4 things going on at the same time, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed. But the point becomes out of it that you move forward, you make some decisions, and then you move forward. Then you make those decisions, and then you make the changes. And if it's not really what you want, then you make the other changes too. But part of that process of when you're doing that is you keep your integrity, you keep your moral compass, because all that is important to keep. So the issue becomes keeping the energy you need to move forward in life. So anyway, these are some food for thoughts about things. And please like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at bthomasmillerpsych@gmail.com. Also, I have some books that I published that are self-published on Amazon. Latest one that I now got is at the editors is Abundance. Really a short book. It's about 40 pages long, but I did write another thing on water quality on the reservation, which is available on Amazon. Most of my books, for the most part, are available, and they're not expensive. They're relatively cheap, but they're available on Amazon. Anyway, I hope to talk to you next week, and take on the week, and feel free to email me at bthomasmillerpsych, and have a great day. Bye.